In this lesson, we'll talk about the XML component. The XML component is an extremely versatile component that allows you to retrieve data over the web as long as the data is structured in an XML format. Now, what's great about this tool is that the XML can be in any structure. You can pretty much invent your own XML structure and still be able to parse it using the XML component and retrieve the specific information that you need. So if you wanted to, for example, create a dynamic business directory, or if you wanted to create a dynamic food menu board and wanted to connect to a POS, a point of sale system, or if you wanted to connect to a database engine, anything that you wanted to connect to that can produce an XML data structure, you will be able to parse and embed that into a particular scene that you've assigned. We use standard ev4x tags, so it's very easy to get specific information using both elements and properties. And also we support a series of elements. So if you wanted to kind of flip through several items at once, we also support that. So we'll show you how to configure all this. And here's the data structure that we're going to use. This information is coming from a local point of sale system that can feed the information to us just over an HTTP link. And this information includes the burger name, the ounce, the price, and also a resource description right here, which is going to be just an image. So we can use this data structure to dynamically feed into our food menu board. So I've set up a pretty straightforward screen configuration with 4 screen divisions and some images that are going to transition, as well as a background image. So let's go ahead and review it. But of course what we're missing is the actual information, the prices and description. So that's what we'll set up right now. So let's switch over here to scenes and go ahead and add a new scene right here. I'll click on the plus sign and let's go ahead and rename it. We'll call it our item scene and press on enter. Next we'll take the XML item and drag and drop it over here, and what we'll do is we'll actually go ahead and drag 3 XML items to represent the name of the product, the price of the product, and an image for the product, just like this. So this item scene right here that you're seeing will actually represent a single hamburger, a single chicken burger. So this will be a single record in the food menu board. Next, let's go ahead and just change the colors. And make the font maybe a little bit bigger too. I'll go ahead and make this a little bit wider. And I can use the keyboard as well. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to actually map each label here, each XML item really, to a proper attribute. So just to understand what attributes are, let me go ahead and switch back to my XML. So looking here at the XML, you see that we have this root item, burger menu, which everything kind of sits under. And under the burger menu, we have burgers. And if we actually minimize all of the burgers, we can see that there's several type of burgers, and the first burger has an attribute. An attribute could be a size, could be a name, the ounce, the price. So these would be attributes. And the way we bind it to attributes is using the @ sign. So let's go ahead and set up the attributes for the XML items inside the scene. So switching back to our scene, we'll go ahead and select the first text item, the first XML item really, and set the attribute to be @name. Set the second one to be @price, and the third one to be @resource, and set the type to be also a resource. So looking back at the XML, you can see that under each burger again we have the name that we map to, the price that we map to, and the resource. Now you don't necessarily have to follow this XML structure. You can invent your own XML structure, but since our XML looks like this, we're going to go ahead and map to the proper attributes, just like we did. And just to recap, this scene right here, the item scene, will hold a single menu item. In other words, it'll hold a single product. So what we need to do now is we need to create kind of a wrapper scene, a scene that's going to hold all the different products, all the different items. So let's go ahead and do this. Click on the plus sign right here. Let's go ahead and rename this called our food menu scene and press on enter. Let's change the width and the height of the scene to be maybe 300 by 350 by 350. Okay. Next, we're going to switch over to components, and under components, we're going to look for this XML player. So we're going to drag over a total of 3 XML players because we're just going to show 3 products in our case. And of course, if you want to show more products, you're going to be dragging more XML players. So we have a total of 3 XML players, and they're represented right here, so you can select them and see exactly where they're positioned. So now that we have our 3 XML players that are going to display 3 products in our wrapper scene, the scene that's going to hold them, we need to associate each one of those XML players with a particular product. So let's go ahead and make the 3 XML players just a little bit wider and thinner. Just about that. And next I'm going to point each XML player to the data feed, to the data source, which is our burgers.xml file. So I'll select again the first XML and set the URL to be again the burgers.xml that resides in our point of sale system, second one, and the third one. So they're all going to point to the same data source. Next, we want to set each XML player to show a unique product. So let's go ahead and review the XML again. And here in the XML, you can see that we need to build a statement that's going to pull the first product. In our case, it's going to be the chicken burger. So if we wanted to pull that information out of this XML, we would need to create an E4X statement, which is going to describe as burger.name chicken burger, or in other words, burger.name equals chicken burger would give me the first entry. If I set a burger.size equals L, it'll give me actually these 2 products right here. So in this case, I just want to find one unique product, so I'm going to go burger.name equals chicken burger. One quick side note is that anytime that you work with an XML source, you always need to just kind of ignore the root tag. So in our case, the root tag is burger menu, and you're just going to ignore it. So you always just skip and not include the root tag in your E4X statement. So looking at the E4X statement, again, it's pretty straightforward. So we're going to go burger dot the @ name equals chicken burger, which will pull the first product, the first item in the XML list. So we'll go ahead and just copy this, switch back to our application, and instead of using the default channel.item, we're just going to go ahead and paste in our statement, which is again burger.@name equals chicken burger. Next, there's one more thing we need to do to actually display the item, and that is to associate the proper scene to this XML player. Now, one thing you want to make sure is that you don't grab this item scene here from the source. You want to actually go over here to the scenes under the toolbox and grab this scene right here, the item scene, drag and drop it over here, and as soon as you let go, the product actually is retrieved from the XML. So we see the image, we see the price, and the name of the product. Now let's go ahead and select the second product, second XML player, paste in, this time I'm pasting in the vegan burger, and again I need to associate a scene just like before from right here from the toolbox. And again, here's my product. So just like before, I'll paste in the actual E4X statement, the URL, and associate the scene. And sure enough, here's our third product. Next, I want to make sure that all my 3 XML players are aligned, so I'll select the background, go over here to the layout property of the actual scene, and set the vertical layout. Now everything is nicely laid out for me. Next, we'll add the scene to our timeline, so we'll switch to timelines. Go over here to the scenes, select our food menu scene, which is the wrapper scene that holds the 3 XML players. Add a shortcut, stretch this, and let's go ahead and just make a lot of room here so we can see everything properly. And go ahead and click on the play to watch our presentation go. And here's our chicken burger, vegan burger, and signature burger fitting nicely into our presentation. And the XML player really shines when you need to add or remove things. So for example, right now we have 3 products. So let's say we want to go ahead and add a 4th product. This would be very simple because we have all the layout already set up for us. So all we need to do is go to the components, add another XML player, just drag and drop it. Go ahead and resize it just like the rest of the items. Load the properties just like before. Go over here to the scenes, associate the item scene. We're going to go ahead and this time paste in the King Vegan Burger for our search E4X path and set the URL just like before. There's a typo right here. You see there's an extra space. You got to watch out for this thing, so I'll go ahead and remove the space. And so it was very easy to add our 4th item. Now if you notice, right here we got a wrap because the field is too short, so all we have to do is go back to the source, which is the item scene. Select the text property, make it a little bit wider. Sure enough, all the fields got a little bit wider. Now let's say that we also want to add the ounce for each burger. Just below the price you want to add the ounce for the burger. So again, this would be very simple to do now. You go back to the item scene. We're going to go over here and switch to our components. Grab another XML item right over here. Drag and drop it. Go ahead and change the color. Make it and we're also going to put a regular label just after it and call this label just OZ for ounce. I use the arrow keys just to position everything. It's going to make it a little bit easier. Next we'll select the text and make sure that we add the E4X tag for ounce from our XML, which is just at OZ, and switch back to our food menu scene, which holds all of our products, all of our XML players. So I think now you can really appreciate just the flexibility of the XML player because it allows you to grab data from external sources, and also anytime you're dealing with the XML player, since the item scene is embedded in all the XML players, you simply make a change once and it propagates throughout all your products. So let's go ahead and review our final product. Go back to the timeline, select the proper campaign, make a little bit more room here so we can see how nicely everything scales, and press on play. Here's a food menu board with now 4 products. We have the ounce and the price. I think now you can really see why the XML player is such a versatile tool. If you do have more questions, be sure to talk to our support team, and thank you for watching.